So, Caitlyn Clark has been getting some crazy mad love hate from her opposition, from her critics, from her fans, from supporters. You just get media personalities, influencers, celebrities. You have been getting people talking about Caitlyn Clark, good, bad, or indifferent. I first want to say this. Um, I'm not a huge supporter of Stephen A. Smith. I don't think Stephen A. Smith, everything that comes out of Stephen A. Smith isn't 100% correct, or we should just gravitate to whatever Stephen A. Smith says. But I do kind of agree with Stephen A. Smith on certain levels when the conversation presents itself about Caitlyn Clark. I do think that the WNBA, who's been thriving to, we talk about the WNBA players, the coaches, the owners, the fans, they want the WNBA pretty much at the same level as the other leagues when it comes to the NBA, the NFL, women's soccer is more phenomenal globally than the WNBA. And the WNBA has been clamoring for this type of attention. Plus, you've been hearing a lot of people around the WNBA saying that they deserve equal pay. They should be, on the same level as other professional athletes. When it, the list goes on and on and on of the demands and I think it's warranted. I feel like the WNBA has proven itself to be somewhat of a commodity. I think a lot of people are gravitating to the WNBA. I think and I always said this, and I was a huge supporter of the WNBA in the beginning of it. And I said that then what I believe now, when people start recognizing these women players, that will present more stars and more opportunities for the WNBA to, rise, sort of say, with success. Now, the WNBA has had some issues when it comes to, it's not a very profitable league, and they are, and I hate to use this word, the NBA pretty much, finances the WNBA. If the WNBA just goes out on its own and has to support its own, it's a dying league. Okay, they're hemorrhaging money left to right. Now, a lot of people are going to make the argument, well, the NBA, not a lot of people are watching the NBA when you talk about the viewership and things of that nature. But still, the NBA is still a commodity, a proven commodity. If you just look at their TV rights, I didn't think they was going to orchestrate this type of money to have televised live NBA games. But it just goes to show that a lot of these networks are thriving for time slots and, in these streaming services and things of that nature. And they just came at a perfect time, and they utilized this perfect opportunity to, if you look at their TV rights with NBC, Amazon, ESPN, and Turner Sports no longer have TV rights to the NBA. And I feel like Turner Sports have been supporting the NBA the longest, through its ups, through its downs, through everything. And I just thought that the NBA should gave Turner a solid. But when you're, when the head honcho of TNT, Turner Sports, says, well, we don't need the NBA, that just speaks in volume of a disrespect. And I do feel like Warner Brothers is hemorrhaging money. They just could not, they just got outbid. They just don't have the money. But that's neither here nor there. That has nothing to do with this conversation. But the conversation presents itself as, I've seen this movie before with the Caitlyn Clark hate. or the, let's just say, I think hate is a too strong of a word, of the Caitlyn Clark negativity. I feel like a lot of people, players are on this narrative of, well, Caitlyn Clark, she has to be tough as nails, and everybody had their growing pains in the WNBA. And the list goes on and on and on of several phenomenal female athletes that had to get their footing in the WNBA to be bona fide stars or all stars. And I feel like Caitlyn Clark is going to be in that list, in that tier of people that we're going to recognize in the next 10 years. Okay? But I've seen this movie play. And I seen it when the NBA, when Michael Jordan came into the NBA. I've seen this with Kobe Bean Bryant, God rest his soul. I've seen how that movie played out with him. I've seen this movie played out somewhat to Grant Hill, to T-Mac, to Penny Hardaway, to Shaquille O'Neal. I've seen this movie played out a dozen times, not only in the NBA, even LeBron James. Let's not forget LeBron James. I also seen this movie played out in other leagues, such as, Tim Tebow, such as Peyton Manning, such as Tom Brady. Now, I'm not sitting up here telling you guys that Caitlyn Clark is going to have a career as of those individuals I just mentioned. But I have seen this movie played out, and I'm telling you, if you are a Caitlyn Clark hater, if you are very negative towards Caitlyn Clark, if you are in the media game that's trying to stick up for the others that have a disagreement with Caitlyn Clark or have animosity with Caitlyn Clark or feel like Caitlyn Clark does not deserve all of this credit as far as, the WNBA's rise somewhat, if you are in that stratosphere, this is not going to look good for you. Right now it's looking somewhat good to you because it's sort of a gang up attempt against Caitlyn Clark. But I feel like longevity wise, this is not going to play out and it's not going to look good for you. I feel like Caitlyn Clark is, and I feel like I don't, now I do agree with a lot of female basketball players that were drafted in the same class as Caitlyn Clark, Angel Reese. I do somewhat agree with her comments, but let's just face facts and face reality. Angel Reese, and I love Angel Reese. Angel Reese is solely not getting the draw of the casual WNBA fan. The casual WNBA fan does not know who Angel Reese is, who do not know these other phenomenal women basketball players are, because they don't follow that sport. They don't follow college women's basketball. They don't follow the WNBA or the WNBA players, But I feel like the casual WNBA fan understands Caitlyn Clark and understands the story behind Caitlyn Clark. And everyone loves a good underdog. Now, as a hardcore sports fan, you're going like, what, Caitlyn Clark's an underdog? She got drafted higher than Angel Reese. She's got more street cred than Angel Reese. How is she an underdog? And I'm telling you, these casual fans who don't follow women's basketball or collegiate wise or professional, who don't know the nuances of the other female players in the WNBA, but follows Caitlyn Clark because they represent Caitlyn Clark's story. The majority of people that are clamoring for Caitlyn Clark are underdogs. They're underachievers. They were always counted out. They was always singled out. They were always, oh, you could never make it in this level. And I feel like a lot of those fans are, in essence, the fans that are coming into these arenas just to watch Caitlyn Clark. And Shannon Sharpe said it best. Shannon Sharpe says, when you have a WNBA game and you have to move it to a bigger arena, you should welcome that. You should appreciate that. And I feel like a lot of these female media personalities, like I forget, like Monica, I think she's missing the boat on this. And this is where I agree with Stephen A. Smith somewhat. If there's more eyeballs on the WNBA, and if there are more people who didn't watch the WNBA last year or 5 years ago or 10 years ago, didn't even know the WNBA existed, and now all of a sudden you got these people starting to pay attention to your league, and the only reason why they're paying attention to your league is Caitlyn Clark, you should ride that till the wheels fall literally off. Okay? You got an outlet. There's a lot more people paying attention to the WNBA. And yes, Angel Reese, there's a lot of a lot of women that are contributing to the competition of the WNBA, and hardcore fans like myself can respect those women. But those women are not the whole entire reason why a lot of people are paying attention to the WNBA. I'm sorry, casuals ruin a lot of communities and ruin a lot of things. They don't appreciate, casual fans don't appreciate the past. Casual fans don't appreciate the road, the road to where a lot of these women are rising to. Casual fans don't appreciate the other nuances or the other people that are in this genre. I'm sorry, casual fans only pay attention to the headlines. They only pay attention to stories that reflect them and them only. And I'm telling you, I've seen this play out. All right. And it's not going to go well for a lot of media personalities that have agenda or a bias against Caitlyn Clark. A lot of WNBA players that have a bias or agenda against Caitlyn Clark. You're either going to get on the bus or the bus is going to run you over. And right now, y'all getting y'all kikis in. You're making your jokes. I saw a clip of Caitlyn Clark. They got demolished, and they had to set her out in the fourth quarter. And one of the opposing players was mocking her. That wasn't a good look. You're going to have a whole lot of clips like that. You have heard that, she has been taken off of the female Olympic team, U.S. basketball, and there's not a spot for Caitlyn Clark. And guess what? I've seen that story play out as well with Isaiah Thomas. And that's not looking good. After the Dream Team, after their success, people are still telling stories about how Michael Jordan refused to play in play for the USA Dream Team, and he did not want to play with Isaiah Thomas. And you have to understand, Michael Jordan is a monster, it's a beast. There's nothing that's going to stop this roller coaster of the Michael Jordan phenomenal, of the Michael Jordan experience. It's just going to run you over. It's just a blimp on his screen, but it just gives other people credence, and that people that don't like Michael Jordan, this is one of the things that they talk about. No matter how successful Michael Jordan was, people talk more about, well, he refused to play with Isaiah Thomas, so that makes him a bad player. And now you got this hate train of Michael Jordan. Scottie Pippen has said not so kind words to Michael Jordan. Luke Longley, Horace Grant. Now they're all talking about these horror stories of Michael Jordan. But do these guys realize that if it wasn't for Michael Jordan, a lot of these guys wouldn't be in the position that they are currently finding themselves in? Michael Jordan made a lot of millionaires that played alongside Michael Jordan. I'm telling you, this is not going to look good in the long run. And I feel like these women need to just play along with it. Deep in your heart, there are other reasons why the WNBA is also as popular as well. Play along with it. As of right now, you have the body structure to play in the WNBA, and Caitlyn Clark simply doesn't. She has to add a lot of mass to her. I seen this with Steph Curry. His first 2 years with the Golden State Warriors, they were thinking about trading Steph Curry because he was undersized. His style didn't fit with that current era of basketball. But the Golden State Warriors stayed with Steph Curry, and now look at Steph Curry. Look at the Golden State Warriors. They have won multiple titles. Okay, because they put players to fit with Steph Curry, and they forced the NBA into shooting threes, shooting more threes than a perimeter game, shooting more threes than trying to attack the basket. It forced a lot of players to rethink and reevaluate and change their game. Dwight Howard was a monster down below. Now he was trying to shoot perimeters and shoot threes. LeBron James was a slasher. He was the most athletic NBA player. And it forced him to start shooting more threes, shooting more perimeters. So I'm telling you guys, this is not going to look good in the long run for people that have an issue with Caitlyn Clark. I understand it just goes with the territory. I understand that it's not, I don't think, a lot of these players, I don't think they are categorically saying that they disrespect Caitlyn Clark. But I do feel, and I don't think it's I don't think it's animosity. I don't think it's hate. I just think that a lot of these players and a lot of these female media personalities or male personalities that cover the WNBA are not seeing the forest from the trees. And if people are gravitating to your sport because of they can identify with Caitlyn Clark, then run with it. Okay? Get them get them to pay attention to your league, get them to support your league, get them to financially support your league. And when they spend a lot of time in your league, they'll find out, oh, wait a minute, there's more to the WNBA than just Caitlyn Clark. I think people are missing the boat and missing the point. It doesn't matter why they're watching you or who they're watching, as long as you get them to watch. It makes very huge benefits for the WNBA. And the WNBA want to get out of the shadow of the NBA. The WNBA wants to be on its own a profitable league. I'm sure of this. Okay, they don't want to be on the bootstraps of the NBA. They don't want the NBA to financially support them. They want to support their own league. They want to be independent away from the NBA. Because guess what? If the WNBA is more of a profitable league and it's more and it can finance itself and they don't need the backing of the NBA, guess what the WNBA can do? The WNBA can create their own TV revenue deals. The WNBA can do their own sponsorships. The WNBA is more profitable than some leagues in professional basketball. But before you get there, you have to get these casual fans that don't know a lot about the players or don't know a lot about your league, but only follow the headlines and only follow players that they identify. And Caitlyn Clark reminds me of Tim Tebow. Everybody was hating Tim Tebow. Traditional football fans hated Tim Tebow. They didn't like his style. They didn't like how he was winning games. He should win games the traditional way of the NFL. He should sit back in the pocket and throw the ball. He should do it like every other quarterback. There's more ways to skin a cat, my friends. Okay. Now, did Tim Tebow win a lot of playoff games? Did Tim Tebow win the Super Bowl? No, but what about those other so-called quote-unquote traditional quarterbacks that played in the pocket, that won a lot of playoff games, that didn't win the championship? Is that what we're going to prove that works best? If you make it to the Super Bowl, that's the way that's the way how you should do it. Okay? So, yeah. I've seen this time and time again. I've seen this movie. I've seen this movie so much. It always ends the same way. And I'm telling you, women and media personality, males as well, just if people are if you're getting more and more people to come see your sport, but they're seeing it for other things, or they're seeing it for Caitlyn Clark, then just ride it. Just ride it. Okay? And that's all I got to say on this. I will see you guys in the next video. Deuces.